And now, HomeKit News and Reviews takes another look at products for the smart home.
Welcome back everybody. Today we're looking at an Ecovacs robot vacuum that has been out for a few months now, and the reason for the quite retro intro is that a robot vac for me represents the concept of a smart home very well, something that goes back even to the 1950s. So this is the Deebot X8 Pro Omni, and as it supports Matter, it can work in Apple Home too. Throughout this video, I'll be making comparisons to the Roborock S8 Max V Ultra, which I'll simply refer to as the S8, although this is not a full comparison video as such. You can watch the full video for that vacuum via the link here. The X8 offers some really cool features, starting with the Osmo roller, which continuously cleans the mop as it scrubs the floor, which is definitely an improvement on what the S8 offers. It also offers true Edge 2 adaptive cleaning, like hard to reach corners, although this is fairly common now in robot vacuums. The side sensor also allows for better edge cleaning due to the position adjustable roller mop, which we'll look at later. The new Zero Tangle brush, while something more common in vacs these days, is still better than the S8, although long hair is not an issue in our home. And whilst it doesn't come with a LiDAR turret on top, it still uses LiDAR technology to navigate around objects. The mop can be raised for a 10mm clearance, although that's half of what is offered by the S8. Its built-in AI can detect and clean messes, which I'll put to the test later. Suction stands at 18,000 pascals, which is higher than the new X9 and nearly double that of the S8. And finally, we have the multifunction base station, which to a large degree offers much the same functionality as most other high-end vacs with base stations, like emptying the dust tray or cleaning and drying the mop. So what's in the box on this occasion? Not too much actually. You do get this rather large card that helps you get the X8 up and running. There's the base station of course, which also includes a ramp to help the X8 into the docking area. There's the vac itself, which we'll look more closely at shortly, and there's a multi-language manual. There's an IEC C13 power cable, known in the UK as a kettle lead, suitable for your region. I have the North American version. And lastly, a single side brush that needs to be fitted to the X8. Let's have a closer look at the base station now, and I'll start by removing this cover, which reveals the dust bag section. This comes fitted in the unit, but there are no spare bags included, unfortunately. Just like most other vacs, this is easy to remove, and once taken out, seals up so dust doesn't go flying everywhere. The inside of the bag features an antibacterial coating, which is nice, and I don't feel like it'd rip easily. There's a rubber seal to make sure dust doesn't leak into the recessed area either. Next to that area is a small container to add cleaning fluid, which as I understand it is only for cleaning the mop itself, not the actual floor when being mopped. You should use a specific cleaning liquid designed for this task, so don't go using washing up liquid. As with my Roborock, there are water tanks for clean and dirty water on top. Whilst these are easier to access than those for the S8, I'm not sure how long these catches can last, as they aren't on hinges. They're easy to remove though, with sturdy side-facing handles. Once removed, you can see the connections for passing the clean and dirty water to and from the robot vacuum. Around the back of the station is the socket for connecting the cable, along with a convenient power switch, which is something the S8 lacks. Let's now take a closer look at the robot vac itself, starting with the top of the unit. Hands-on control is all through this three-pronged symbol, which contains a multifunction button and microphones for the X8's built-in voice assistant to listen for commands. For example, a double tap on the central button makes the Osmo roller mop extend itself. This is required if you want to either remove or replace the roller mop, or simply wash it by hand, in addition to what is offered by the base station. And once placed back in its container, you double tap on the button so the Osmo roller goes back into position. The top cover is held in place with magnets, which once removed reveals an on-off switch, which you could use to reboot the device, along with a Wi-Fi indicator light. You also get access to the dust tray, which unsurprisingly you will need to access occasionally to keep it in a reasonable state, despite it being auto-emptied. The LiDAR or LiDAR sensor is built into the front of the unit instead of on top, which I assume in some cases allows it to detect things that are too low for a top-mounted laser. The edge sensor is also present, which you do get on other models like the S8, although this sensor helps the Osmo roller mop adjust its horizontal position. This is the roller mop as seen before, and here are a couple of images to show you what it looks like from above and underneath. The Osmo mop spins at 200 revolutions per minute, whilst also providing downward force to ensure liquids and stains are tackled better. Around the back is the dirty water tank, which unlike the S8 is in fact removable. There's a hatch at the side where dust is sucked out of the dust tray, and we've got the spinning side brush, which we'll also be testing later. You will need the Ecovacs home app to get the X8 up and running, which also requires an account. I've got it installed now, and even though it's generating a map of the apartment, it does certainly look a bit different from previous experiences as it generates more straight surfaces. Once finished, it cleans the whole map up and splits it up into areas it thinks are correct, and overall it didn't do a bad job. Here's my map after a few more adjustments, and you can go for a 3D rendition of the plan just by moving the map with the two fingers, which looks pretty cool. When it comes to cleaning options, you have vac and mop, vac only, or vac then mop. Unfortunately, there's no mop only option that I can see. You also have 4 suction power levels: quiet mode, standard, strong and max, and for mopping it does offer a very nice option to adjust the water flow rate with suggestions on what level is best for different conditions. The cleaning speed option covers standard, quick or deep cleaning along with 1 or 2 passes. I'll now demonstrate the difference between these 3 cleaning speeds next. So here's the X8 cleaning at 3 previously mentioned cleaning speeds, which actually all move at the same constant speed but clean at more closely spaced lines, or more widely spaced lines depending on the option. All 3 are set to vacuum only with standard suction strength and 1 pass in total. Of course, things change if you go for the vac then mop option. Let's move on to obstacle detection and avoidance now, and here are a selection of 6 objects I'll place in the cleaning area to see how well the X8 avoids them. The first object is the standing fan and power cable, which in the case of the latter, it has no problem in avoiding, despite being close to the ground. It also goes around the fan base without any issues. Next is my dog's toy wrapped in a sock, which once again presents no issues at all. Up next is a small hand towel, and that once again doesn't present any problems despite having edges that are almost flat to the ground. The flip-flop is the next one, and it manages it without a problem too, although it can't tell you what it has avoided, unlike the S8. Next is a black sneaker, and as with the flip-flop, it barely shoves it out of place at all. Finally, to the tape measure, which I thought would be a problem due to the tiny little strap, but also no issue for the X8. Let's have a look at the edge cleaning functions now with the Osmo roller mop in action, and as you can see the mop does indeed extend itself to follow the edge very well, although this is a straight edge of course. Corner cleaning is next, and the app offers the option to slow the spinning brush when it detects particles, which avoids spraying them all around. Here's the vac in slow motion so you can see it more clearly in action. The X8 does fall short a little bit in some instances due to its overall height. The lower kitchen drawers here are only 89mm high, and whilst this isn't an issue for the Roborock S8 Max V Ultra, as you can see, when it comes to the X8 it's just a little too tall to get underneath. This is all despite the overall height of the S8 being more than the X8. Let's now look at some of the other functions in the Ecovacs app, and if you have wooden floors that go in a particular direction, you can set the X8 to follow that direction. 2 of our rooms have flooring that goes in a different direction, like this room here and the room on the opposite side of the corridor. In the advanced settings for the robot in the app, you can just adjust this on a room by room basis, even changing the type of flooring for each room. So you can see I can just flip the direction of the living room flooring quite easily, but I need to fix the guest bedroom and the box room, so I can just do that in a few taps. The S8 also has this option incidentally, but it's very handy all the same. I can also tap and hold the vacuum icon and drag it to a location like so, which then gives me the option to clean the room or perform spot cleaning at the spot it's set to. Unfortunately, it can't just go to a location without cleaning, which is possible with the S8. There's also an option to live stream from the built-in camera, which can be password locked if you're concerned, and will also notify you periodically that the cam is in fact streaming. From this screen, you can control the robot yourself, as well as perform other tasks like voice calls or sending it back to the station. Additionally, the X8 has a feature called Home Patrol, which allows the camera to perform a quick check in each room or area whilst taking snapshots in case you want to check on your pet or for general security purposes. The great thing is you can schedule this and rearrange when and where it checks. You can also look back on aforementioned snapshots to make sure everything is as it should be. The X8 is of course Matter enabled, so you can now get this into Apple Home. To do so, you just go into the Matter ecosystem option in the setting page, where it'll generate the necessary Matter code for you. But it also has a button to add it straight to Apple Home without needing to even scan the code. It did take a few attempts, to be honest, but it's been well behaved since then. So in Apple Home, the X8 is listed with a single tile, and if I go in, it offers vac or vac and mop, but once again no mop only option. You can select your individual rooms for scenes and automation purposes, and for both cleaning options you're able to select deep clean or automatic. Unlike the S8, it doesn't offer a quiet option, and vac only offers the quick option for some reason. Moving swiftly on to voice control now, and this is where the X8 really impressed. My Roborock S8 has a voice assistant called Rocky, but you have to say specific exact phrases, which I sometimes forget, hence the cheat sheet when I do. Not so much of a problem with Eco, as it understands what I'm saying to a much better degree without having to be exact. Okay, Eco.
I'm here.
Clean the main bedroom.
Okay, I'm going.
In the app, the main bedroom is actually listed as master bedroom, but as you'll see, it still knows what I'm referring to and begins to clean the correct room. I can even specify a specific area within a room. Okay, Eco.
Yes.
Vacuum under the bed in the master bedroom.
Okay, the area will be vacuumed.
So as you'll see, it heads directly underneath the bed rather than cleaning the whole room. Finally, I can give it contextual instructions so it knows what type of cleaning process is needed. Okay, Eco.
Go ahead.
I've spilled some liquid in the kitchen. Please clean it up.
Okay, the area will be mopped now.
So once again, it knows to mop in this case and will wash the mop in preparation. I've spilled some soy sauce to demonstrate that it's able to determine the area that needs more passes in order to clean, which it does, although as is the case with my S8, the spinning side bush does get dragged through the spillage as well, which is less than ideal. In a situation like this, however, I would tend to mop up most of the liquid first and let the X8 do the remainder of the job. If you're somehow unable or prefer not to use your voice, you can even use the app to send messages to Eco like you're sending it to a friend. I just tap on the Eco icon, a message window pops up for me to type, and I send my message. I can also cancel or alter the instructions if I wish, which is pretty impressive. Finally, to the pros and cons, starting unsurprisingly with Matter. Even though there are still some limitations with robovacs in Apple Home, I still use it every day and it works pretty well. My Roborock still serves me well and is my go-to device for most jobs, but the deeper clean offered by the Osmo Roller Mop is a lot better at cleaning in all honesty, so that's another plus. As just demonstrated, the voice control options are a lot better than what is currently offered by Roborock, so again I have to give it to Ecovacs on that score. The option to customize the amount of water for the roller mop is something I might not use too often, but it's an impressive granular option all the same. Now, given that SwitchBot are launching a robot that you can attach one of their cameras to in order to control the home, it looks like the Home Patrol feature here has beaten them to it to some degree. The main downside for me is the lack of a mop-only option, and I don't know if this is the case with all Ecovacs devices, but it's a shame that they couldn't include this option to begin with. However, all in all, this has served me very well for a couple of months now, and whilst the app can be a bit frustrating in some ways, this is a very good robot for the price. On balance, The Roborock for me is still the number one device I'm going to be using, but I'll continue to use them both going forward anyway. So that's our take on the Deebot X8 Pro Omni. Is there any particular feature on this device that could sway you into buying it? And is there something missing that would put you off? Let me know in the comments section below, and if you've got any questions on this or any of my other videos, ask away and I'll always reply. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, show some love by giving it a like, share if you can, and do subscribe if you haven't done so already. It just remains for me to leave you in the capable hands of the BBC. Good night.